うぅやりますか。今日も京都でやりますが、
I've earned a gold mustache.
え4でしょ。戻ってきたな。違う違う違う。これな。なんやろう。ちょっと待って。ここはな、スクショ撮ってんな。何回も見返、こうやってメニュー開いて見るのがめんどくさいから。じゃあいいやん、開かんでも。うさぎから行って、帽子なんよね。帽子が、あちこちに。このとこにあってん。帽子屋さんあそこでしょ。失礼。猫ちゃん。あっちでしょ。で、猫ちゃんとかに、死んでない。猫ちゃん、ここでしょ。猫ちゃん、4。猫ちゃんが見てる路地、あっちっぽいけど、なんか、4。うーん。BGM なくなるの子が。ああ。うん。 トランプの兵隊ってどこやったっけ？ああ、写真も撮ってる。帽子が8。なんか出会ったもの、なんか、えー、全然しっくりこうへん。全然しっくりこうへんけど。すいません、これはカンニングしました。あまりにもわからなさすぎて。2が全然しっくりこうへん。
Hey, you. I can't lose them.
ほら。ほら、持っていけ、持っていけ。あコーナーみたいなことするやん。はい、失礼。いや、これ QT やったらめっちゃ距離取られてたと思う。逃げられてるし。
Move over.
嘘やろ。
Too many! Too many masks! The murderer could be standing there watching me and laughing.
呼び出し音でかすぎ。どうして？
Yes, Detective Locke?
The murderer got away. I'm coming back, but it looked like he dropped something when he climbed the first
最初の
wall.
壁ってどこやねん。
I'll go and see. For my part, unfortunately, I could do nothing for the victim. He was already dead. I have already alerted the Italian authorities. I will see what I can find while I wait for them.
最初の壁ってなんかよじ登ったとこか。お
A pair of women's glasses. Was Ratchet planning a new identity?
女性用メガネで
There must be several tens of thousands of dollars in this bag.
え数万しか入ってないの？ああ、でもそうか、日本円にして数百万があるか。
A bunch of keys. If, as seems likely, Mr. Wadi is a resident of Geneva, then one of these may belong to his home there.
これ何？
Various clothes in his suitcase. Mr. Wadi was obviously planning to leave this city. Mr. Wadi's Swiss passport. I'll see if I can find a match on the internet to confirm his identity.
そんな出る？スイス人らしいよ。違う。年齢関数で見てなかった。クロコジル意外とちっちゃい。今西暦何年 ?2023 年とか言ってたっけ60違った。
I must admit I'm not right this time.
え名前見てなかった。ワディ。これなんて名前だっけ？アジツ。ワディだ。
I do not think that's the right answer.
あパスポートの見方わかんない。日本語で頼む。ファーストネーム、ファミリーネーム、スイス、スイスランド、あどこ？はあ？待って。違う、年齢が違う、そもそも。
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer.
何検索結果33って。
This is wrong. But I'm never far from the truth.
こういうのってイタリアでしょ？
No, not good.
いや、年齢は45じゃん？名前もそうじゃん？です。ちょっと何言ってんの？それは知ってる。人釣りの話じゃないんだよ。スイスのジュネーブでしょ？もうバカなミス。
The victim was stabbed. Apparently the method of choice in this
う
case.
ん。どんだけ
The victim was stabbed. Apparently the method of choice in this case.
現場かなけそんなバカなああよいしょ無理らしいおじさんによパスポート
A false passport with Ratchet's picture. Clark? Ratchet? How many others? Now he will become Enrico Caldo. It appears Ratchet changed his identity as often as his socks.
エンリコカルドイタリアナノベンバーおじさんもうちょっとせかせか歩いてくれへんかな金のひげないかなこっちになんで鍵かかったドアの先にまた通路が続いてんねんやろ一般のご家庭があるんかと思ってたんやけど思ってたんとちゃうよなまあいいけどバックパックに入ってた
Very well, I choose to go this way.
I'm sorry I couldn't catch the suspect, Mr. Poirot.
There is no need to apologize, mademoiselle. Your efforts were marvelous. I found some information about Mr. Wadi.
Did you access the FBI database?
Don't worry, my little gray cells were enough. However, the database may confirm the origin of these banknotes.
No need. I included them when I continued my investigation.
Excellent.
あ、こっちか。でもこっちも一緒だよな。NA。これだよな。何これじゃない ?NA215-0223 これ
That is a great detective job.
NA 215
Score. 1 for the good guys.
これだな。
Hey, I'm a pretty good detective after all.
Mr. Poirot, it's part of the ransom money from the Armstrong case.
You are surprised?
I suppose not. So Ratchet had it in an account at the Banque du Lac.
It would seem so. He knew the serial numbers on the banknotes could be traced, and he could not spend it, so he stashed it there.
But now he's run low, something he didn't count on. He hopes enough time has passed so he can begin to spend the ransom money.
Ah, there is something else he didn't count on.
What's that?
He didn't count on you, Detective Locke, and your tenacity.
Thank you. But we are still left with a murderer on the loose.
But we progress. We know Mr. Wadi had an appointment with Ratchet. He had a bag full of money and a passport with Ratchet's photo, but a new name. What is your opinion about the passport?
I discovered that he was arrested in Armenia for trafficking in stolen art and was supposed to be arraigned in January. Once again, he changed his identity and vanished.
You are correct, mademoiselle. He also told me that he was threatened, and that threatening letter we found in his room was real. He had to disappear once again.
The bag isn't very big. He could have easily run away with it. If he didn't take it, it was deliberate. He wasn't interested in the money. If the motive wasn't money, it leaves passion or revenge for motive.
So, Detective Locke, what do you think? Passion or revenge?
Revenge seems like an obvious motive to me. The murderer carefully followed Wadi from the fountain to the new meeting place despite Wadi's precautions. That is cold and careful.
Excellent. We cannot yet know for certain, but that is a sound psychological analysis.
エコロジック。
We have an idea of the motive. It is the same motive as that of our 12 would-be murderers on the train. But we still must know who was under that mask.
What if Ratchet hired a hitman to kill Wadi in order to not leave a witness?
An interesting possibility, but it is much more likely that Mr. Wadi's killer is also Ratchet's killer.
Of course, if the two were stabbed in revenge, and both are tied to the Armstrong case.
Yes, so our murderer is linked to the Armstrong case. The money is linked to the Armstrong case. But these glasses that I found in the bag, they must have something to do with this case too.
Wait, those glasses mean something to me. Wait, I know. I've seen these. They belong to Suzanne Moreau, little Daisy's nurse. I remember seeing them in her bedroom. But they were gone the day she died.
I remember the press saying that the nurse had committed suicide.
I've always believed otherwise, and the glasses are proof that she was killed by Ratchet or his accomplice. He took those glasses. I always had a gut feeling, but now, Mr. Poirot, now I have proof Suzanne was innocent.
Yes, you do. But the question I ask myself is this. Why did Ratchet keep these glasses?
Ratchet used to leave fake evidence at the scene of his crimes to incriminate others. He did the same thing to frame Suzanne.
Possibly. But keeping an object belonging to his victim as a souvenir of the murder, that is the behavior of a fetishist.
Now that you mention it, in my investigation at the time, I had already found Daisy's hair clip in Ratchet's cabin, and now we find Suzanne's glasses in a bag for Ratchet.
2 objects from 2 victims of Ratchet. He is a trophy hunter.
Okay, we managed to clear up some of the gray areas. What now?
The bag only contained a fraction of the $1 million ransom of the Armstrong case. The rest must still be in a secure place. I will make a wager with you that it is the Banque du Lac in Geneva where Mr. Wadi worked.
Wadi was also the keeper of Ratchet's secrets. They were killed by the same murderer.
Agreed.
Well, there is nothing more we can do here except wait for the police. Prepare yourself for a long evening with the police. We have a lot of explaining to do.
And after that?
A visit to Geneva, perhaps?
ホタルコアラさんがなんか歩くとおかしい。腕の振り方が違和感。
Here you are at last. I was worried about you.
We just left the police station. We had to explain to the Italian police that we were not murderers.
What? Another murder?
I'll tell you when we're underway. Are all passengers and staff aboard?
Yes, everyone is here. We were waiting for you.
Excellent. Let's not waste any more time. We have to make a longer than usual stop in Lausanne.
What? How long?
Long enough to do a little banking in Geneva.
早く乗ろうぜ。
But this is madness. A 13th murderer of Ratchet?
Mon ami, he was not well liked.
But Monsieur Michel would have seen anyone enter Ratchet's compartment. And there were another 10 people milling about, taking their turn at stabbing him. How could they not notice an uninvited killer?
The 13th killer could have acted when Michel was smoking on the platform at Vinkovsky. But even after the train departed, Michel was absent from his post at the end of the corridor several times the night of the murder. I must know where he really was and when. Yes, he most certainly returned to the train.
How can you be sure?
It's obvious. I mean, I hope
なんで
Mr.
って聞い
Poirot
てんだよ。
agrees.
Please continue, Detective Locke.
While I was chasing him, he was clearly running in the direction of Venice Station, where the Orient Express was waiting.
Very possibly, but it is not
Sorry.
much in the way of proof, mademoiselle.
All the passengers and crew are still aboard. If the killer of Mr. Wadi had remained in Venice, we would have noticed right away that someone was missing, and we could have alerted the authorities.
I promise you, I made certain everyone was aboard before we embarked.
Book, calm yourself.
Calm myself? But we're back where we started. There is still another murderer on my train. Wait a moment. Can I change my mind about my verdict? Can we turn everyone over to the police?
Everyone? Including ourselves?
What? No. 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 Oh, it's a nightmare.
Let us take it step by
It's a
step, my
nightmare.
friend. We can start by eliminating all of the members of the Ratchet jury. That was easy. If we eliminate the 12 jurors, we are left with 7 additional suspects.
7? It's still too many.
I agree. We must reduce our list.
Excuse my impatience, Poirot. It's as if my beautiful train is cursed. Can you exonerate any of the 7?
Good. Book worked hard to get me aboard the train. He is definitely not a suspect. Brilliant. Mademoiselle Locke cannot be a suspect. She pursued Mr. Wadi's murderer. Nice. Dr. Constantine alerted me to the 13th stab wound. He is not a suspect. That was easy. I have 4 suspects left
乗
who
務
I
員じゃ
must
ん。
now examine more closely.
一番若い女の子と。
Miss Nielsen, Monsieur Maury, Monsieur Fauché, and Countess Andrény.
One of my employees? Suspicious?
All 3 got off the train in Venice to restock supplies. Any one of them might have slipped away without being noticed.
I suppose. But what of Countess Andrény? You cleared her yourself.
She is cleared of the first murder, but we know little of her movements here in Venice. So, we still have 4 suspects to interview. Detective Locke?
I can't join you, Poirot. My chief saw something on the news about the case and my involvement. He's demanding an explanation. If I want to keep my badge, I have to call him.
Then you must do so by all means.
I'm sorry.
No need to apologize. I understand.
I'll make the call from my compartment. If you're looking for me, I'll be there.
I hate to say this, Poirot, but I must. There is, of course, one other suspect with a motive for murder. The ransom money.
You mean Detective Locke? Then who did she chase? Who killed Aziz? We both saw the masked murderer standing over the body.
してよ。はあということはこっちやな。どういう設定？
Doctor, I need to question Countess Andrény.
I'm afraid that won't be possible, Mr. Poirot. The Countess had an anxiety attack when we arrived in Venice. She was terrified the police would come for her and her husband, despite how you concluded your investigation. I had to give her a sedative. She has been sleeping since.
You have stayed with her all the time we were in Venice?
Count Andrény begged me to watch over her. I have not left this room.
You're the reason she's in this state.
Book voted to absolve you all. I accepted his verdict.
I told her. I tried to reason with her. What she has already suffered, the strain of these last few days, it was too much.
I understand, Count. It's quite all right. I have the answers I came for.
とりあえず休むんやったら服着替えた方がいいのでは。この上半身のよくわからんやつ、それ絶対多分結構きっちりしてて苦しいと思うから、横になったらビリっていかへんか心配。
Ah, Michel, I have a few more questions to ask you, if you will allow me.
Anything, Monsieur Poirot. We are in your debt.
Let us review the actual timeline of the night of Ratchet's murder, not the one manufactured to hide your crime.
I left the train in Minkowski for a smoke. Then I resumed my post. That was the truth. The train departed on schedule. But then, of course, an avalanche of snow blocked the tracks. At 12:45, Madame Hubbard and I met in her compartment to discuss how to adapt our plan.
Due to the snow and Poirot.
The little play we had staged for you had to be rewritten. I left your compartment at approximately 1:15.
Then the curtain went up. Calls in the night, the red kimono, all for my benefit.
And all for nothing, as it turned out.
Do not blame yourself, Michel. I am the theater critic no playwright wants to see in the audience. Please tell me your movements when we were stopped at Venice Station.
Once the compartments were cleaned and the linen refreshed, I stayed in my quarters.
Did you
車掌
notice
さんそんなこと
anything
もしなかった
special?
大変やな。
Comings and goings?
Monsieur Bouc had asked everyone to stay in their compartments. I would occasionally walk the train to ensure everyone was comfortable. Oh, I saw Monsieur Maury was all alone loading his crates of provisions. A great chef like that, reduced to petty labor, I would have helped him. But Monsieur Bouc had ordered me not to leave the train for any reason. So, Monsieur Maury was forced to labor alone.
西森。 ピアノ弾いてる。
You play well. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Thank you. Many years of piano lessons thanks to my mother. I try to play in a few clubs in Paris when I get the chance, but as you can see, it hasn't made me rich. What can I do for you?
Conversation only. Tell me about your time in Venice.
I had Monsieur Book's permission to see my sister. She lives in Marghera, just outside of Venice. She had a baby a few weeks ago. This was my first chance to meet my new nephew.
Monsieur Book gave you permission?
Yes, you can ask him.
Most assuredly, I will. What time did you leave, and when did you return?
I left around 9-10 p.m. I was back by 10:45 p.m. When I got back, Hotaru was in a lot of pain. I gave him a back massage.
That would have been enough time to kill Monsieur Wadi and return to the train.
May I see your knives?
Of course, they are here.
If you don't mind.
Help yourself. They are under the bar counter.
Tell me again about your poker game the night of the murder.
It's a regular game to help relax after a long day. Let's see, we started around 11 p.m. We took a short break in Minkowski. Hotaru, Pierre, and I. The game finished up around 2 a.m. We'd all had quite a bit to drink. Ah, yes, I left for about 10 minutes to refrigerate champagne for the next day. That must have been around 1 a.m.
None of these come close to the wounds on either body.
ミニゲームもうない？
You told Fauché he could go into Venice?
Marghera, actually. Not so far away. It was his only chance to see his sister. He's been working every train for weeks. There is never time to see the new baby.
Enough, Book. Your heart does you credit, but your common sense, it...
I know. But it's fine. Isn't it? He did come back.
Oh, it's fine, as you say. Unless he saw the baby, then killed someone else and returned to the train.
But that's monstrous.
Murder is always monstrous,
それ
my
はそ
friend.
う。ホタル。ホタル。あ、これ。あ、
Saffron. It must be worth a small fortune.
アペラーノ。ペペラーノ。
Good evening, Monsieur Mori. May I have a moment of your time? I have a few questions to ask you.
Of course, as long as you don't mind if dinner is ruined.
I promise to be as brief as possible. What did you do while we were stopped in Venice?
With Freya's help, I loaded fresh produce for the next part of our journey. Then, you may not believe this, but my job requires a lot of physical labor. My back suffers. Fortunately, Jean has become quite adept at separating my
なんかエッチなこと
vertebrae.
言ってる。
As you may know, I have solved the murder of Monsieur Ratchet.
That is a shame.
I beg your pardon?
The bastard sent my steak tartar back, telling John I was to burn it.
I will add it to the list of his crimes. One wound on Monsieur Ratchet's body was struck by a very sharp, thin-bladed knife. We haven't found it yet.
You think one of mine was used?
I'd like to have a look, if you don't mind.
In that drawer.
An impressive set of knives. But their blades are too wide to have been used for the
え、
crime.
こ あ、ごめん。うわ、大引く。かわいそう。だって日本人でこんだけかがまなあかんって外国人にそもそも会ってないよ。てか、パプリカ1個ずつで。何すんの？十何人いるのに。
Tell me about your poker game the night of the murder.
We started around 11 p.m. When John finished his shift, we played until around 2 a.m. From what I remember,
いつか夜やってるし、
it's
な
a
ってたし
bit
な。
vague.
You played without a break.
Actually, we did break once for a smoke. John, Pierre, and I. When we stopped in Vinkovsky,
When was that?
around midnight.
ありがとう。あ、これ。カリフラワー3つもあることある？まあ、あると。リンゴと、洋梨と、玉ねぎと、こんな、あ、これじゃがいもか？さすがにレモンではないよな。バナナと、キャベツ？キャベツこっち。キャベツだけなんかテクスチャー、キャベツやな。これ何？あ、レタス。アーティチョークの季節ないもんな。コンコンコン。あれ？
The box is secured by some sort of locking mechanism. The design is formed by 3 commas. What is the word in Japanese? Tamoe. And it's obviously missing a piece.
トモエ。あれ？ホタル？ゲームソフトどこやったん？
Good evening, Mademoiselle Nielsen. May I talk to you for a moment?
Of course, Mr. Poirot. I'm not going to bed right away.
何してた
Can
の？
you tell me your movements while we were stopped in Venice?
That'll be easy. I didn't move much at all. Let's see. I helped Hataru load all of the food crates aboard the train. Hataru had everything he needed, but I realized they forgot half of my order. I spent over an hour on the phone with the supplier without success. I had to change the dessert menu for tomorrow.
Dr. Constantine found a stab wound on Ratchet's body that was caused by a much thinner and sharper blade than the others.
Possibly a chef's knife?
My thought precisely.
And you'd like to see my knives?
If you wouldn't mind.
I would gladly show you if I had any, but I don't. I use the regular kitchen knives. You may search if you don't believe me.
I see.
All the knives the staff use are in the kitchen or in the lounge, except...
Except
Hotaro prefers to use his own.
Monsieur Mori doesn't use the kitchen knives?
Not usually. I know he keeps a set of traditional Japanese knives in a box in his room. He doesn't let anyone else use them. Although now that I think of it, he has been using the kitchen knives lately.
Can you tell me exactly about your poker game the night of the murder?
We started around 11 p.m. In Vinkovsky, we took a short break. Hataru and Pierre went outside to smoke. Oh, and Hataru got sick around a few minutes past 1 a.m. 1:10 a.m. maybe? He spent about 15 minutes in the bathroom, but he didn't want to quit on a losing streak.
Did his luck improve?
No, so we played to around 2 a.m. He lost every hand.
I've talked to everyone, but some elements of the testimonies do not seem to correspond. I need to recheck a few things. The box is secured by some sort of locking mechanism. The design is formed by 3 commas. Tamoe.
Oh boy. Eh,
No, not good. Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer.
なんかある？シャンパンにしてた。見てなかった。
I must admit I'm not right this time.
なんか別に何も対応してなさそうやねんけど。
This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth. I do not think that's the right answer.
気がする。気がするで。なんで？だって列車の連結上
Any of the 3 staff members had the opportunity to kill Ratchet when Monsieur Michel wasn't watching the hallway. I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
なんかしっくりこうへんな。もう一回いいですか
Remind me of what you did when the train stopped in Venice.
No problem. I helped Hotaru load all of the food crates aboard the train. Hotaru had everything he needed, but I realized they forgot half of my order. I spent over an hour on the phone with the supplier, without success. I had to change the dessert menu for tomorrow.
Mademoiselle, I believe you're hiding the truth from me.
What makes you say that?
一人で
Michel saw Monsieur Maury carrying the crates of food alone. You weren't on the platform.
I did help Hotaru.
The entire time? He carried so many crates, his back was sore.
Ah, I'm sorry about that. Okay, I'm guilty. I did leave him before we were finished, but I had to. There was no saffron he needed for a recipe. I volunteered to go into Venice and get him some. The Rialto market would be open late because of the carnival. He gave me money. I knew we weren't supposed to leave the train, but I only wanted to help. Mr. Mori can confirm this. Ask him. I saved dinner.
Oh, on behalf of my palate, I thank you. How long were you gone?
I left at 9:10 p.m. and was back with the saffron around 11. That's when I called my supplier for the items I was missing.
Miss Nielsen had almost 2 hours to buy the saffron, find a costume, kill Monsieur Wadi, elude Detective Locke, and make it back to the train for that phone call. Yes, it's possible that was enough time. Thank you, Mademoiselle Nielsen. That is all for now.
Sorry again, Mr. Poirot. I hope you enjoy tonight's dessert.
ホタル、包丁のこと聞かせて。作業遅っ。何するって。包丁確認できんくね。え？
Black feather.
黒すぎて同化しとる。
Reminds me of something.
うわ。組木細工。うわ。ちょい。違うねん。回転させて。くそ。ここまでこう。違う、寄せ木細工。
It's still locked. I need to move the parts on the side.
これはこっちにしか受けられへんのか。ちょっと違う。 違う、そこじゃなくて、回転させたい。あのさ操作性が悪い。なんで操作と回転が同じボタンやねん。こいつはこれ以上抜けないんだよな。
It's still locked. I need to move the parts on the side.
Eh. 助けて。ここまでしか抜けない。こっちからしか抜けへんねんな。多分。めっちゃ操作性悪い。あ、引っかかってる。違うね。戻りたいんじゃなくて、右クリックですぐ戻っちゃうのよくない。マジで操作性が最悪。なんなんこれマジで。ゴミ。もうどこやったら、もう操作性。 だって WSD で回転できる方が嬉しいですけど、もうなんで動くかはもうわからへん。え、違う違う。違うね。くそ、操作性。森？
An object that looks like a broken comma. It must be part of something else. An object?
ホタル、お前毎回こんなことしてんのか。なんか刃渡りめっちゃ短くない？
Sushi knives, razor sharp.
いや
ー。Sushi knives, razor sharp.
普通の包丁な。
Colteria Venezia. Sushi knives, razor sharp.
はい、ありがとう。疲れたー。ほんまに疲れた。
I'm sorry, Monsieur Mori, but haven't you forgotten something? You haven't told me about the knives hidden in your room.
Ha! Yes, indeed. I forgot to tell you about those. They are my personal knives. I only use these knives. There are none. I bought them all in Japan. No one is allowed to touch them except me.
I'm afraid you are better at sushi than lying.
What? What do you mean?
One of the knives has an inscription, Coltelleria Venezia. Did you happen to go shopping tonight, monsieur?
Damn you, Poirot. Very well. One of my sushi knives has been missing since the night of the murder. I thought you were going to believe I killed Ratchet. He routinely sent back my dishes to be ruined. Why does God give rich people the money to afford the best cuisine, but not the palate to appreciate it? I panicked. I know a very good store in Venice. I went to buy a knife to replace the
Oh,
one
置いてくれ。
that had gone missing. So, I wouldn't be accused. I assure you that I had nothing to do with any murders.
I would have an easier time believing you, monsieur, if you put that knife down.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry.
What time did you leave on your little shopping trip?
I left around 9:30 p.m. I was back a little after 11. 11:15 p.m.
Time enough to stab Monsieur Wadi and return. Very well, Monsieur Maury. That's all for now. If I have another question...
I'll be right here, cooking.
いい。
My little gray cells did not let me down.
なんか途中でなんて止まるの何？なんか食べてる。だから太るんやぞ。人のこと言われへんけど。変な形のソファ。どこにおるん？ミスロック。
Haha! Golden mustache.
実質うわな。
What have you been doing, Poirot? I am completely in the dark.
I will shine some light on the situation, my friend. I have 3 new suspects who could have killed Ratchet and Monsieur Wadi. Miss Nielsen, Monsieur Fauché, and Monsieur Maury. They all had periods of time during both murders to commit the deed, and their alibis are weak. A visit to family, and not 1, but 2 shopping trips.
But all are my employees.
Alas, yes, my dear book. But we have no proof against any of them. None of the 3 appears to have any motive whatsoever.
But this is a tragedy.
Do not give up hope. We will catch this murderer. There is still one place that may hold the evidence we need.
Geneva.
Exact.
Do not give up hope? Well, that's easy for you to say. But what if it's Freya? What becomes of dessert? If it's Sotaru, who will cook? Me? And the worst, if it's Jean, who will serve the drinks?
I've been checking up on the Banque du Lac. I had to confirm my identity for Interpol, so they contacted my captain at the Berkshire Police.
I suspect he was not pleased.
That my vacation was actually an unofficial investigation? I'll say.
I would be happy to speak to him on your behalf.
Thank you, but he'll get over it. It's a chance to close the books on the Armstrong kidnapping. He stopped yelling, asked for a report, then granted me an extra week.
Excellent. What did you learn from Interpol about the Banque du Lac?
It's had a bad reputation for over a century. Customers have included the mafia, Nazis, corporate swindlers of every description, even heads of state.
It is true, this. It is the worst kept secret in banking. They take advantage of the bank's strict policy of protecting the anonymity of its clients. This is in defiance of many laws from multiple countries, including Switzerland itself. Of course, I have never taken advantage of such a corrupt system.
That goes without saying, my friend.
There are ongoing investigations, subpoenas, court orders. The bank will eventually have to comply, or its assets may be seized. But until then, it still thrives, thanks to its wealthy and powerful clients.
It sounds perfect for the late Monsieur Ratchet. Do you have any ideas?
The serial numbers from some of the bills match those from the Armstrong kidnapping. We agreed in Venice that the bulk of the money must still be physically in the bank's vault.
I concur, Detective Locke. Exemplary work. So, our next task is clear. We need to get into Ratchet's safety deposit box.
There will be codes, passwords.
And Monsieur Wadi would, of course, have known them all. The bag of money he carried is proof of that.
We'll need to find information about Ratchet's box in Wadi's office at the bank.
Most assuredly, but remember the secrecy involved. I doubt his office will contain all we need. Where else must we dig? No, not good. There was nothing helpful in Ratchet's diary. Et voilà.
Mr. Wadi couldn't keep all of his secrets at the bank. Hopefully we'll find something in his apartment. We already have his address thanks to his passport, and his keys we retrieved from his body.
The train stops in Lausanne at 8 a.m. But that's far from Geneva. I can delay the departure until 11 a.m. No later. The police are expecting us in Paris by the end of the afternoon at the latest. They won't tolerate any delay.
The bank doesn't open until 9. I can see only one way that gives us a chance to be on time. Let's take a taxi. I checked a map. It should take us less than an hour to get to Geneva from Lausanne, which leaves us just enough time to access that safety deposit box. We have no choice if we want to be back to the train by 11 a.m. The best thing is to separate. One of us searches his apartment, the other searches his office. To access the safety deposit box, we need to find the key, the box number, and the passcode.
Suppose you find all this. How do you plan to get into the vault?
My captain suggested an international warrant to search the box, but the warrant would take days, and the bank would probably just laugh at it.
We are going to use the bank's anonymity policy to our advantage.
And the quickest way is for you to impersonate Ratchet.
I would rather impersonate Jack the Ripper, but in the interest of justice, I will do it.
We need to find the account number.
Along with everything else.
I will say I want access to the vault. They don't ask for papers or even names. The vault information is enough.
I'm not hearing any of this. I run a train company. I don't rob banks.
Perfect. Let's recap the plan.
My little gray cells did not let me down.
To sum up, we're going by taxi to Geneva. Then we'll split up. You're going to search Mr. Wadi's apartment. I'll search the office at the bank. When we have all the information we need, you pretend to be Ratchet, and we can finally find out what Ratchet is keeping hidden in his safety deposit box.
It sounds impossible.
Not for Detective Joanna Locke and Hercule Poirot.
We should get some rest.
You are right, Detective. We face our greatest challenge tomorrow. Together.
"9 o'clock. Our driver did well. It took barely an hour to get here from Lausanne.
But we must conclude our business in 1 hour as well. Book can only hold the train until 11 o'clock.
1 hour to find the key of Ratchet's safety deposit box, the box number, and its passcode. A lot to ask.
Indeed, which is why we must split our forces. I will take the cab to Monsieur Wadi's address. You must search his office.
I have you on speed dial. And thank you, Mr. Poirot.
For what, mademoiselle?
For trusting me.
Ah.ああ。なんか子供でも抱いてんのかと思ったけど、角か。角というか。なんか、疲れたからもういいや。なんかあんまり長々とできねえ。セーブ一瞬で終わるの素晴らしいね。よし。終わり。